Good morning, Keller Williams, and welcome back to 66 Conversations with MAPS Coaches. I'm joined this morning by Miss Kate Peterson. Kate, thanks for being with us. Happy to have you. For those that don't know you, why don't you introduce yourself, tell everyone a little bit about who you are, who you coach, kind of what's going on in your world.
Well, thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Like you said, my name is Kate Peterson. I'm from the Toronto area in Ontario, Canada, and I am a MAPS Bold coach. So I am on the road in our rooms, working with our people, our KW people, to really help strengthen their mindset and get their businesses ramped up and charged up. It's a really great position to have with MAPS. And I run a team in the area as well. So busy and just loving every second of it.
You know, I love what our bold coaches do. I'm six times bolder. I had to look at my trophies. And, you know, for me personally, you guys always bring the energy, you bring the content, you bring the mindset, and you manage travel like nobody's business. I can't imagine doing one, let alone sometimes you guys are doing 2, 3, 4 times a week. You're traveling from city to city and making flights. And like, I get stressed out for one flight, let alone having to do whatever it is, 28 in a month, you know, in a 6-week, 8-week.
We do whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. I love it. Today's objection is an interesting one. And when you brought it to me, I was like, that is such a great one, because I think it happens more often than we care to admit or tell ourselves. This is the conversation we need to have with someone who is close in our sphere, right? So this is, they've done business with us before. They're our best friend, longtime friend, whatever it may be, family member, someone who's in our VIP, you know, kind of allied resource, close friend group. And yet they continue, even though they know how well we do, they know us, they love us, they won't provide us referrals. How do you have that conversation with someone who just won't give you a name and you know they have some names? What's the best way to coax that out of them, in your opinion?
Well, you know what? This comes from personal experience, and that's where this script was born, out of my fascination with my best friend, who would always tell me about her friends who just moved or were moving and had transacted with me a number of times. And I was really wrapping my head around, what can I do? What can I say differently? And it occurred to me that I had to make this about her, because the way I was thinking about it, my mindset was it was about me. How do I get referrals? And I thought, what do I need to do to flip this on its head? So I took a deep breath and I called her one day and I opened with, I want to talk about business today, because we talk all the time. We're really good friends. Sure. And I called her and I started with, this call today is about business. And she's like, oh, okay, that's different. And I said, I'm calling today to apologize. And she said, what?
Yeah.
And I said, I'd like to apologize to you. You and I have transacted now, I think 5 times. And yet, not once during any of those transactions or since have you seen fit to pass along any of the names of your friends or neighbors who you've known are planning or thinking of making a move. So I wanted to apologize to you for not having given you a level of service that gave you the confidence in passing my name along and giving me an introduction to your friend or neighbor. And I promise that the next time we transact together, I will do better, so that you just go to your friends and neighbors and rave about your experience and say, I've got to introduce you to Kate.
I love it.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And I stopped right there, and she was stunned. She was so quiet. Right. And she goes, are you for real? And I said, yeah, if you don't feel comfortable introducing me to one of your friends so that I have the opportunity to interview with them, then I apologize. I haven't done right by you. I haven't done my job.
Sure.
And she was so shaken by that. I get regular referrals from her now.
Yeah. It's the opposite of the promise script almost, right? Like the promise script, we know we've all been at, you know, different events and heard the promise script, and it's, you know, will you continue to provide referrals, et cetera. And I think we all want to use that going forward, of course. And yet sometimes you go back to those people that you're like, how do I reverse promise script these people, right? And that's almost what you've done is, you know, most of my clients, I do such a great job. They provide me with referrals because they know how well I work, but apparently I didn't do a good job with you because you haven't provided me with the referrals. I think that is an interesting way to make sure that, because that's an awkward conversation. Let's be real, right? They probably,
it was a very awkward conversation. I was really nervous about making that call.
Sure.
I'm a bold coach though. So you know what? It's like, pick up the phone, make that call. And you have to be authentic. I meant it. I meant it when I said I was sorry.
Sure.
And she realized that all I was asking for was an introduction, that I didn't have an expectation that whoever she introduced me to would actually do business with me.
Sure.
All I needed is the introduction. And of course, she knows I'm going to make her look good. And we know that that's their concern. How is an introduction going to reflect on them? And when we hold ourselves to the highest standard and share with our people that I'm sorry that I didn't have a standard high enough for you to be comfortable, I'm going to raise the bar next time.
Yeah.
And it made all the difference in the world. And the really fun side effect of all of this is two of the people that she has referred to me, both of whom have now also transacted with me multiple times. We've become this little friend group. And so it's really had this win-win-win-win ending to it all.
Well, and I like what you said too. I don't expect a transaction. I expect an introduction. I think sometimes our sphere feels like, oh, well, I'm not 100% sure that Kate will work with Marty. So I don't want to introduce Kate to Marty in case Kate chooses somebody else, then I'll look bad. And it's, we got to make sure our sphere knows, look, all I need is a name and a number. Let me do the work from there. And if I can't convert, that's not on you. That's on me and them. And maybe we're not going to get every referral that gets brought to us, right? If you give me a name and a number, you give me 10 names and numbers, I may not be able to convert all 10 of them. And yet that has no reflection on you providing me with their name and number. It is a reflection of us just not being a good fit. Maybe I need to brush up on my skills. I need to go to bold so that I can get my mindset right, whatever it is, right? Kind of brush up on some of those conversations that we need to be having with people in order to get those referrals. But I love it because sometimes it is, the ones that are closest to us are the ones that are most concerned about us getting the business. In reality, that's not what we need. We just need names and numbers. Let us do the heavy lifting from there, right?
Exactly. And you made the exact point. They may have the expectation that we expect a deal, a transaction out of it, when in fact, we're just asking for an introduction. That's all we can ever do is ask for the introduction. And it takes some of the pressure off of those who are closest to us. Oh, that's it? Yeah, that's it. Just let me do an interview. That's all I can. And if I don't win that interview, then that's on me.
Sure. Yeah. And a lot of times too, we go back. I have found the ones that I don't necessarily connect with, my sphere might even tell me, well, I wasn't sure if they were going to be a good fit, but I just wanted to give you the chance. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, cool. Yeah. The things you didn't tell me was, oh, they're really picky. Oh, they're just a pain in the rear to work with. I don't really like them that much. I was just trying to help you out. It's like, okay, cool. Like no harm, no foul in that case, right?
No harm, no foul. Exactly. Yeah. And we know, now typically people we like also like people that we would like to work with. Agreed. Every now and then there's that one off the wall friend though.
Yeah. So. Kate, I love all of this conversation. Any closing thoughts for agents who are looking to build more referrals from those that are closest to them?
They just have to be ready to take that deep breath and truly come from contribution, come from care and authenticity so that whoever they're talking to feels their authenticity around the conversation that's being had, that it's not to pressure them, it's not to make them feel bad, that when you call to say, I'm really sorry I didn't give you a high enough level of service, that you actually mean that. Right. And that they feel it. It can't just be words, it has to be authentic. And when we're authentic and genuine, those around us feel it and the walls come down and the referrals do start coming in.
I love it. Be authentic, be genuine, be brave, not always the easiest.
Be brave.
Right. And yet go out there, make it, get more referrals from those that know you and love you best. Kate, thanks so much for your time and sharing us with this conversation. Guys, you know the drill by now. Come back tomorrow for a new conversation with a new MAPS coach. And until then, we'll look forward to seeing you real soon.